Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. In this one we're looking at the HyperX Alloy FPS keyboard. Now there's actually an RGB version of this keyboard available now. This is actually the previous generation and I've actually had this quite a long time, so this is a little bit more of an extended review, but you can take this review and actually apply it to the RGB version, be it that the RGB has some software that you can control the lighting with, whereas this doesn't. I will cover other things like that further on in the video, but long story short, minus the lighting, you can apply this review to the newer version. So I'm not going to go over the box or anything like that, literally jumping straight into it this time. So let's get on with it. Now this keyboard is using Cherry MX red switches, so the perfect choice for gamers. You can type really nicely on it though, but if you are buying this primarily to do typing, I would recommend looking at a brown switch keyboard instead. This does have some nice MIDI controls as well, one of the prominent features I liked about this keyboard before I actually asked to review it, and some nice simple adjustments as well, and some nice simple lighting adjustments. It does have a very nice unique LED lighting bar that runs the entirety of the actual top of the keyboard, provides some nice diffused backlighting. Obviously you can tell this is all set to red, but should you want to change a different colour, then grab the RGB version. So let's take a look around the keyboard itself. So at the top right hand side we've got the MIDI controls. These are very nice and simple. You've got a previous track, pause, next track, and then a mute button as well. Mute I found to be very handy for doing things like voiceover. Easily mute things before you lay down a voice track. And then you have got a nice scroll wheel on the side for your audio. I do love using these scroll wheels. I will actually look for this in the keyboard when I do. I found it to become a pretty essential part of a keyboard without having to go down to the bottom of the windows and doing it that way. On the top left of the keyboard we've got some adjustments for the brightness of the keyboard. You have got 3 different levels and then off. Then you have adjustments to go through the different lighting options. I will show those later in the video. And then you've got a dedicated game mode button. That disables the window key so you don't accidentally press it during games. Now being that the red backlight won't be for everyone, personally I do think this does look really nice. The metal backplate that runs along the keyboard plus that lighting does create a really nice combo. Now if you're wondering, unfortunately there isn't any options for macros with this keyboard. Now HyperX do sell different keyboards that do offer this functionality, but unfortunately this isn't one of them, which will appeal for certain people, though I do feel I for one don't use macros anymore. So this for me is just great. I do love how it looks and also it's very minimal as well. Media controls, mainly for someone that's more of a casual gamer, more than the hardcore one. Now on the rear of the keyboard we do have a USB pass-through. Now this does mean that the cable is rather thick, be it a braided cable which is of a nice quality, and that does terminate to 2 USB ports to the end. Of course if you don't want to use the USB you only have to plug in the main one for the power of the keyboard, which is what I do. I generally don't find myself using pass-throughs, but for those of you that do, you do have one on this keyboard. Not very much going on with the back of the keyboard, just some adjustments for the angle. Now also included in the box you do get some different titanium coloured keycaps. These give some differential texture to the ones that are default, so your 1, 2, 3, 4 and then your WASD keys. Just allows you to find them better without looking. And they also have a bit of curvature as well, so your fingers stay where they should be. You also get a nice textured wrist rest on the box. This has a kind of rubberized feel. Nice simple branding on there as well. This just simply clips onto the keyboard underneath. I would like to see a magnetized wrist rest, just purely for the fact that those clips can be a little bit flimsy, and I have seen ones like that break really easily in the past. Now for those of you that are interested in how this keyboard sounds, this is the clip for you. For the lighting we have some simple options. You have 3 brightness controls. Your first effect is static, second is breathing, your third is a reactive to when the key's pressed with a slow fade out, the fourth is a wave from whatever key's pressed. Next along we have a wave that just goes from left to right. Then the last effect is only lighting up the common FPS keys. Now I've thoroughly enjoyed my experience with the Alloy Elite. Now I did say for the gamer, definitely go for the red switches, but it is available in brown and blues as well. So if you do like that bump at the top, go for the browns, and obviously if you do like to hear it as well, then the blue is exactly what you want. If you're a mix of both, I'd just go for the browns because you have an actuation point higher, which is great for typing. But then of course if you want to do a bit of gaming, then browns work really well for that as well. If you're like me, do a lot of email during the day and then casual gaming, I think the brown is the way to go, but hardcore gamers definitely go for the reds. Any use of this keyboard is really enjoyable. The steel frame of this keyboard makes it absolutely solid and rigid. It's built like an absolute tank, and I think it would withstand a massive bashing. Personally, I do love the design, but although I may be a bit biased saying that because my channel is black and red, so they kind of go hand in hand, and it does fit my theme perfectly. I have found the metal to pick up grease quite easily though. You may have seen that in some of the shots, and it is quite tricky to clean as well, so maybe rubbing alcohol is the way to go to keep it nice and fresh. That's only really a minor niggle. It's far outweighed by the absolute positives than just that little small issue. As I mentioned, the media controls I absolutely love. The volume adjustment on the fly is just so quick. For example, if you was to get a call and you're playing music, just smash that mute button, even just scroll the music down a little bit as well so you can still hear it. And personally, I think it should be on every keyboard, just so convenient. But overall, a solid performer. I definitely recommend this to anyone that's after a more minimal keyboard, especially for someone that doesn't want to RGB all the things, but just wants a classic, nice looking keyboard on the desk. So thank you for watching this video, guys. I hope you all enjoyed it. If you have any more questions, please leave them in the comments box below and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. I will link this keyboard and the RGB version in the description box if you want to get one for yourself. If you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss an upload. Big thank you to HyperX for sending this out for me to review. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.